It's wonderful having a son on the homestead to help out. That's the biggest deal of all when you have.
What if everything you thought you knew about Andre Rieu, the king of the waltz, the smiling maestro with a violin, was just the surface of a much deeper, more emotional story? Behind the glittering concerts and the billion-dollar empire lies a truth few ever see. A man who didn't just fight for success, he bled for it. From unimaginable setbacks to decisions that nearly cost him everything, Rieu's journey is filled with haunting secrets, lavish risks, and moments that could have shattered his legacy forever. Why did one of the world's most beloved musicians suddenly disappear from the spotlight? What happened behind those velvet curtains when the lights dimmed and the orchestra stopped playing? This is the side of Andre Rieu you've never seen before. And once you learn the truth, you'll never hear his music the same way again. Stay with us, because it only gets more shocking from here. When Otto agreed to hernia surgery in 2016, fans saw a wince here, a pause there, but they had no idea what happened off-screen. It wasn't just groin repair. It was the moment a man who once wrestled wild oxen found himself trembling on an operating table. Here's the twist that left jaws dropped. The same stubborn spirit that powered him through bone-chilling mornings almost cost him everything because he refused to rest. Fast forward to today, and you can't help but compare the legendary homesteader who once bragged about outworking a snowstorm to the figure hunched over a cane, each step a reminder that even legends need care. In the heart of a whiteout, Otto faced his fiercest opponent, not ice or gale, but a blinded ox charging like a runaway locomotive. His heavy coat turned crimson where the beast struck, and every breath felt like shards of ice cutting through his lungs. But the most shocking part is yet to come. Discovery's cameras stopped rolling just as paramedics raced into the drifts. Viewers got a tease. He might die. Then a sudden cut to Jewel serenading in the cabin. Wait until you hear about the after-hours rescue that no one filmed, EMTs prying him from hoof prints, fashioning duct-taped splints, and risking hypothermia themselves to drag him to safety. Back home, the farm fell eerily silent. Sons Ivan and August traded wrenches for wary glances, each movement echoing the question, who leads when the leader collapses? You might think stepping into Otto's boots was just another chore, but hearing Ivan murmur, "Dad would have had this herd through the pass," chills you to the bone. Here's a hook you won't forget. These two men, once guided by a patriarch's confidence, suddenly found themselves shackled by fear. Each clank of metal on gate echoed doubts their father once banished, with a grin and a challenge. Charlotte Kilcher's Instagram confession ripped the polished veneer off reality TV. This episode will be difficult for us to relive. Raw tears of when Otto's life hung by a thread. It was a plea and a proclamation, exposing the seam where family vulnerability meets network ratings. Industry insiders whispered that Discovery warned her to tone it down, but she refused. This moment of unfiltered truth contrasted sharply with the clinical card viewers saw. Otto is receiving medical attention. Here's another hook. Behind every framed shot of triumph was a family fraying at the edges, begging for authenticity. Fans flooded Reddit with theories. Was Ivan angling for more camera time? Did August edit out tense exchanges? Some felt closer to the Kilchers than ever. Others felt betrayed by the cuts they never saw. Local Homer coffee shops buzzed with gossip, while neighbors petitioned Discovery for privacy. It felt like living in two worlds, one broadcast for millions, the other whispered over chipped mugs, where real tear-stained confessions live. You'll be on the edge of your seat to discover how this dual reality reshapes the Kilcher's bond in Part 2. Amidst the chaos, Otto's return home was nothing short of cinematic. He hobbled onto the porch, leaning on a cane, face drawn, yet offering that stubborn half-smile. Ivan's shoulders squared, August's gaze steadied, and Charlotte, relieved but transformed, welcomed him like a monarch greeting her champion. The homestead had weathered its fiercest storm and emerged both stronger and more fragile. This precarious balance is the heartbeat of Alaska, the last frontier, proving that reality TV's greatest drama is not the tasks, but the ties that bind. While Otto's legacy rests on self-reliance, his financial and luxury lifestyle tells a different story of savvy adaptation. After decades of homestead living, he and Charlotte parlayed their reputation into a discovery paycheck, rumored to top $250,000 per season, supplemented by book deals and speaking engagements. His prized ride? A custom Polaris ZR XP1000 built for tundra treks, alongside a vintage 1968 Ford F-250 restored by his own hands. On his wrist, an Omega Seamaster quietly gleams, a gift from network producers marking 10 years on air. The family homestead, 160 acres outside Homer, boasts a market value north of $2.5 million, plus a secluded cabin in Anchorage, listed at $1.2 million. For emergencies, Otto charters private flights to Anchorage's medical center, running tens of thousands per trip. He's invested in renewable energy ventures, solar arrays and micro-hydro projects powering remote cabins, while Charlotte manages an insurance portfolio covering health, disability, property, and liability, ensuring every ox charge or tractor mishap won't wipe out their assets. Key lesson? Never tie all your wealth to wild weather or one engine. Diversify income, protect your body with proper coverage, and treat durable equipment, whether a jet or a chainsaw, as investments, not toys. From pneumonia-fueled wheezes to blizzard-blinded oxen, Otto's Odyssey is more than frontier folklore. It's a masterclass in resilience, family, and smart wealth building. But what cost comes with living your legend on camera? The sequel promises to peel back another layer, revealing whether fame ultimately fortifies the Kilcher clan or fractures it beyond repair. Brace yourself, because the next chapter will challenge everything you thought you knew about surviving and thriving when life's forecast says extreme. Here's where it gets messier. The newer generation, led by Avon and Levi, has tried stepping in, but can virality replace authenticity? Ivan's estimated net worth, now close to $1.2 million, is growing thanks to monetized YouTube tutorials, sponsored gear, and branded survival kits. But those figures come with a cost. Critics argue he's trading ancestral grit for influencer gloss, the kind of survival content that looks good on reels but lacks soul. And fans are noticing. Comments beneath Season 12 clips read like obituaries. Otto wouldn't have used a ferro rod, he would have lit it with diesel breath and a glare. And this isn't just Otto's story. It's the shape of Hollywood's latest heartbreaks. Just weeks ago, Alaska, the last frontier's parent company, Discovery, faced backlash for quietly shelving a memorial segment for another beloved face, Captain Sig Hansen's cousin from Deadliest Catch. Fans, again, felt duped, and across the country, a different storm brewed around actress Dana Barrett's sudden disappearance from her primetime crime drama. Her camp says contract disputes. Industry whispers point to mounting medical bills and a struggle to balance fame with health. Dana, once the face of tough, driven women in TV, is reportedly living on her savings. Her net worth slashed from $1.8 million to under $900,000 in 3 years. A woman who carried her show for 7 seasons now fights quietly behind closed doors. And you have to ask, when did authenticity stop being profitable? The truth is, Hollywood sells stories, but behind those polished frames are real people slowly fading from the spotlight they never asked for. Otto's story isn't just a subplot in a fading reality show. It's a warning flare for the entire entertainment machine. When legacy is reduced to hashtags and highlight reels, what's left behind? But here's the hook that cuts deepest. Fans aren't just mourning the loss of screen time. They're mourning the disappearing wisdom, the unteachable instinct, the grit that doesn't trend. When Otto goes silent, an entire world vanishes with him. Levi might carry the torch, but it flickers in a digital world that values quick content over slow truth. And Otto's fears? They're real. As land around Homer sells for influencer retreats and authentic wilderness Airbnb experiences, the Kilcher name becomes a brand, not a bloodline. The slow unraveling of Otto's role on TV echoes across an industry more obsessed with algorithms than authenticity. What began as a window into a simpler life has become a mirror reflecting our own detachment. And yet, the loyalty of fans, those who still share Season 5 clips like gospel, proves one thing: the real frontier isn't gone. It's just harder to find. So ask yourself this: when the last genuine voice fades into a dubbed-over rerun, who will remember the stories? The real ones. The ones not edited for drama, not sliced for runtime, but lived through cracked hands and silent winters. Otto Kilcher may be vanishing from the screen, but his legacy? It refuses to be buried quietly.